what it's like being a small business owner in Massachusetts. So this is just some of my thoughts over the past couple of months. But one of them was I recently had to pay for, I think it's called business, I had to resubmit something to make sure my business stayed in good compliance. And what that is it's a $500 protection racket that the Massachusetts government carries out in order to allow you to operate your LLC, which is a limited liability company or any other company, in Massachusetts. And if you don't pay them literally $500, and it comes out to $520 because you file it online, and they charge you a $20 online filing fee. But $520 you have to pay them in order for your business to stay in good standing. And what good standing means is if you ever do anything or the business ever messes up in such a way, which is not the same as negligence, but if the business ever messes up and winds up getting sued, being in good standing allows you to declare bankruptcy on the business and protect your personal assets from being included and also taken away from you. And I was thinking about this because I just finished reading The Godfather. I'm like, this literally sounds like a protection racket run by the Massachusetts government, where they charge me, like literally the form I fill out is literally a repeat of the form I submitted a year ago, because you have to do this every single year. But it's not like it's a hard form to do or anything complex. It's literally just my name, my brother's name, our current business address, and then asking if we've added any new partners. And then I have to resubmit that form every single year and pay $520 to do so, or else the Massachusetts government in their infinite gangsterism, or being the organized crime, being the legal arm of organized crime, or just having legalized it due to being the government, they get to collect that money, which is no different than protection money, because I'm literally paying $520 a year in order to legally protect myself from having the United States government come after my personal assets, instead of accepting when I declare bankruptcy that it only applies to my business assets. That's one of the thoughts I've had. Another one was how difficult it is for like a small business, and how business kind of tends to grow large because it just operates to some degree better if it's managed well. And that's the caveat, if it's managed well, because there's tons of bureaucracy that can form that. I think one book, I think it was 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, said the productive people within a company is the square root of the number of employees they have. So if you have 64 people in a company, then you really only have 8 productive people. This is it. Half of the work at a company gets done by the square root of the employees. That was the statistic that was cited for some study they did on companies. But I think they mentioned this in 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, where he talks about how when companies get larger, they get a lot of bloat on them. But if you manage a company well and it doesn't have bloat, then the natural inkling of a business is to grow, because everything becomes easier with size. Because I had to ship items out, and there's some items I really had to cancel an order or two, because this is one item in particular on eBay that I was selling a while ago. I had to cancel the order because it cost me $84 to ship to them, and the package, it was literally a desktop monitor that wasn't that big and wasn't that heavy, but they just lived far away from me, and I only sold it for like $60. So I canceled the order. And I was thinking about that because I'm like, why? Like, how the hell is Chewy, the pet supply company, able to send me literally boxes every month with actual rock, like cat litter in them? And I'm only paying like $15 per box of cat litter, but they're able to make a profit off of sending me that. And I looked into it, and it's because when you get big enough, then you can negotiate with UPS and FedEx and get crazy low deals. Because I once looked into flipping, the charging cords for computers. I once had the opportunity to buy a large amount of them and then resell them, but I passed on it because there are people on eBay currently selling the charging cables for like $5 a piece, and they're 15-ounce charging cables, which would have cost me at least $7 to ship. I'm like, how are they able to sell them? It's because some companies, when you get large enough, you can negotiate with UPS and get crazy low rates because they're able to allow you to operate just so that they make enough money off of you instead of charging you all the extra money because they have to have the infrastructure to handle it. Because a lot of big businesses drop off directly to UPS warehouses versus going to the little UPS stores they have. And then the second thought about how big business is inevitable is once you get big enough, if your company is making a couple $1 million a year and you're getting taxed on that, well, now because you're making a lot more money, you can then spend, say for personal income tax, if you made $30 million a year, which is a hell of a lot of money, but say you made $30 million a year, they're going to tax you probably about half of that. So you're going to have to pay $15 million. Or you could put that $15 million towards, or at least you can spend up to $15 million on consultants and tax experts to try to lessen the amount of money you have to pay. And as long as you don't spend more than $15 million doing that, then, plus what you actually have to wind up paying in taxes. But, some of the really wealthy people in the country can wind up paying no taxes if they do it well enough. And I'm just it's really difficult to kind of move up in terms of scaling a small business to a larger one, because a lot of people make the mistake of not having a business that is unique or really adds value to the equation, because you need a pretty big step up in improvement to allow you to charge higher prices in order for you to make up on the fact that you don't have an accountant saving you tons of money every year, because you can't pay someone boatloads of money to look for tax loopholes or ways to spend less or have less money stolen from you. You can't pay to negotiate with UPS and FedEx to get lower rates. So when you're a small business starting off, I would recommend making sure your idea is actually that much good enough, that much better than anything else out there on the market, in order for you to be able to charge the higher prices to make up for the fact that you are not going to be able to compete on shipping. It's very difficult to compete on cost for a small business because the shipping, I can't get as cheap as shipping rates. That means people can sell it for less than me. When you're doing a lot of business, you can just bring everything down through economies of scale. You can get stuff cheaper. And it's something to think about, and how even though that's how all of this goes, business has never been easier to start. Oh, and then one thing I also forgot is I was talking to someone who used to, an accountant who used to do taxes for the IRS, about what I can and can't write off of my taxes. And apparently, when you get large enough as a business, you can negotiate with the IRS, which is basically you just go back and forth on them, and they try to get as much money out of you, and you fight them, and they give in, and allow you to write off some stuff that they wouldn't normally allow, like, most people to write off, because you're just big. You have enough time, you have enough money that you can just have people argue with the IRS until they kind of give in and allow you to write off the stuff you want to write off. And this whole process is legal, and it's called negotiation. Like, you hire accountants to negotiate with the IRS. And I'm like, hell, man, I would love to have people to negotiate on the IRS so I can have less money stolen from me.